Welcome back to NBA Today. It's been 27 hours since Baxter Holmes' bombshell report on Suns owner Robert Sarver and the culture he created around the organization dropped. The report alleges a history of racism and misogyny from Sarver, and since that report became public, there have been numerous statements released from the key parties, Sarver, the Suns, and former head coach Earl Watson. But last night, we heard from the current team, starting with head coach Monty Williams.
It's a lot to process. There's so many things there, and for me, it's still not clear as far as the facts are concerned. As someone who's a caretaker of the program, I find all of these things that are being said serious in nature, and these allegations are, sensitive is an understatement. At the same time, they're just not clear yet. An article was written, many opinions were shared, many feelings were shared, but all of it happened before I was here. And based on what you all know about me, the little you know about me, if any of that stuff happened while I was here, I wouldn't be in this seat.
I wasn't aware of the situation, and my 7 years I've been here, I haven't noticed that, but that doesn't, make me insensitive to the subject. And, I think the NBA open investigation, they're going to do their due diligence of, bringing out facts instead of he said, she said, and, I'm sure the NBA has it in good hands and do the proper research to, find out the truth.
We're not insensitive to everything that was said or whatnot, but, we don't know all the details. Right, so the NBA will do its investigation, and in that time, all of us on our team will continue to play and do what we do.
We now welcome in senior writer Brian Windhorst, who's been all over the fallout from this story. Brian, how did the Suns leaders handle the accusations towards Sarver?
Well, you could see there from the way Monty Williams handled it, he was pained, he was stressed, he was unhappy that he was put in that position. But really what he said was, we're going to let the NBA do its job. Malika, I really felt that Monty Williams was in position to completely control how this was going to go for the Suns and really across the league. He had not spoken about this when the Suns initially made statements about this 2 weeks ago. He withheld his comments until he saw the story. They did not have shoot-around availability, so he had all day to think about this. And the way he was going to handle this going out was going to affect the way the rest of his players did. Even Devin Booker, after the game against the Rockets last night, said that they were monitoring and watching what Monty said in the locker room as he was speaking to the media before the game. So when Monty came out and said, I'm just not sure where the truth is here, there's two sides to the story, and we're going to let the NBA figure it out, that really empowered the rest of the Suns players to feel the same way. And Chris Paul and Devin Booker came out 3 hours later and echoed him. And that's where the Suns are. The Suns are troubled by this, but they don't know which side is correct, and so they're going to let a third party, a law firm hired by the NBA, to try to figure out what the truth is.
You mentioned the reaction for the rest of the league. Well, the rest of the league has started to weigh in. Here's what Draymond Green and Steve Nash said earlier today.
Yeah, it was sad to read. That hasn't been my experience with Robert, but I'm obviously very sensitive to those type of situations. So, it was disappointing that that's out there.
Steve, while you were there, did you ever hear of any of that stuff?
Word traveled around this league like wildfire, so it may not have been my first time hearing the story yesterday, but that's neither here nor there.
So, Brian, what do you expect the ripple effect to be across the NBA?
A lot of people are going to be touched by this because it's talking about a 17-year span here in Phoenix where, frankly, there's been a lot of turnover here in both players and coaches. So a lot of people have come through this building behind me. Just since Robert Sarver has owned this team, Malika, this building's had 5 different names. So the reality is that there's a lot of people that are trying to digest this right now. But I really think the National Basketball Players Association, they made a statement yesterday, and they thought about it all day. They knew about it for a while. And Michelle Roberts, the executive director, even though she's outgoing, she chose not even to put her name on it. She just said, we're sensitive to this, and we're going to let the investigation play out. And that is pretty much where everybody is going. This is a different situation than we've seen in situations with other owners who have had to sell their teams under public pressure, because this is a he said, she said, he said situation. And everybody who I talked to yesterday after reading Baxter Holmes' story pretty much said that exact same thing.
A different situation, certainly, but no less serious. Brian, thank you so much for joining us. More from you, I'm sure, as this story continues to develop. So here's a look at the Suns' upcoming schedule. After finishing their 5-game homestand on Saturday against the Hawks, they go on the road for 4 of their next 5 games. Their stretch with their games against Sacramento and Portland, who've already beaten Phoenix this season.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.